necessarily whether they're, the first season of Lost Girl, we weren't sure whether Lauren was a good or a bad person, and I really had a lot of fun with that. It's great to play those characters. But as I'm getting a little bit older, I'm starting to find it more interesting to play characters that have a little more fun, take themselves a little less seriously. So I'm just starting to turn a bit of a corner in that way that, like acting, I think for a lot of people when you first start out is a way to express whatever's going on for you, and as you get older, the artistry of it, I think, comes in a little more. Now I'm more interested in playing characters that are less like me than more like me. Yeah.
Hi. Where do you feel or want your characters to go in the 4th season, and how do you feel that Tamsin might play as a interference in both your characters' interests? Assuming everyone's alive.
She must die. She must die yesterday. I don't know, I kind of love when Tamsin's around, actually. I really, really do. First of all, I think Rachel does a fantastic job of playing her, and it brings a whole new dimension to the show. I think she's got a great vibe, and I don't know, as far as where Lauren's going to go, every season I think I know, and I'm never right. They do a really great job of figuring out new stuff for us to play, so I think it'll be interesting to see. I wish I knew, because we don't have the scripts yet. We don't really know what's happening, but in terms of that character, I think that the more the merrier. Bring them on. It's great.
Yeah, I totally agree. Rachel's been so fun to work with. Her and I are like, I found my goofy twin on set. We literally bump into stuff for each other all the time. As far as honestly, with like Zoe said, the writers do such a great job of always surprising us. So I always kind of like the idea, the love triangle, like consummating itself, but I don't know, I'll probably still be pining after Bo. Secret course. Really stoic. But I'm sure they'll find some ways of getting me to step out of my comfort zone too. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. And as far as Rachel, she's a little bit of salsa on top. So we'll see what happens. Totally roundabout way of not saying anything.
Hi, I had a question. I've always had this fascination with the living wall in Dr. Flint's apartment. Does it smell?
Someone else would have asked that.
We like to roll around naked on that wall. Chill ourselves out and on Tuesday. So yeah, it smells horrible.
I don't actually think I've ever smelled it. Believe it or not.
I actually peed in it a few times.
My apartment is so crazy because there's like pictures of women making out with each other. Every time I go in there, I'm like, do people have this stuff on their walls normally? Is this usual? And then a huge wall of grass, and I love the apartment. I think it's awesome, but it's very specific to my character.
Some man, I think, came up with the idea that the original Ash was sort of botanical in its qualities is actually in that wall thing, kind of like Han Solo's in the carbonite. Yeah, I thought that was pretty fun too. Like a dude who hasn't washed in 3 seasons.
Okay, hi, I'm a big fan, by the way. I wanted to know, is there a dream role, say in a book or a comic book, or a role that's already been portrayed that you were like, oh man, I really wish I could do this, or be this character?
There's been few over the years, I guess. But because there's such painful things to think about, I usually forget about it. First, you that fella that I don't even know your name, he plays in Game of Thrones. Lannister, who is that actor, by the way? Nicholas, yeah, that guy. Can you guys go get him? No, he does a great job. He's got a far better chin for that role than I do. I mean, I'm totally wrong for it, but I always loved Wolverine growing up. I'm a blonde, fuzzy guy, come on. He's supposed to be 5'2". But I think he does a great job. I don't know, I mean a lot. It's hard to put it down. But yeah, I like superheroes. Green Arrow. That was one of them.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a little obscure, but there was a movie that Claire Danes did not long ago called Temple Grandin.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, she did such a beautiful, brilliant, layered, complicated performance that I wouldn't even nearly want to touch it. But that role was such a fantastic role. And then the character that it's based on, who's obviously, she's a real person who's autistic. And you can like YouTube Temple Grandin. She's this extraordinary woman who couldn't talk for the longest time growing up. And her mother, who relentlessly believed in her when everybody said this girl is not going to amount to anything, worked with her, and she's become a brilliant woman in life and has autism. And Claire Danes played her in Temple Grandin, and I would have loved to have played that character, like a really interesting human being, and she brought such dignity and empathy to that portrayal. Something like that. Yeah, something like that.
In the episode of Lost Girl where everybody switched bodies, how fun was that episode to do, or what did you do to get into each other's characters?
I just got drunk. Well, I don't know. I mean, like I didn't get the opportunity to study anybody. The guy who I was playing, he only did a few minutes of a scene, like I don't even think it was a few. It was like a minute of a scene that I sort of had to then take what I saw from him and create Raynor. And it was one of the more challenging things I've had to do because just, you know, it was really out there. The character was so out there. I really had to abandon any sense of being self-conscious and just being self-aware and just go for it. And it was one of those characters that you just have to, you really have to check your ego at the door. When they say action, you have to go 1000%. And so, you know, I can't really watch it, to be honest with you. It makes me want to sort of kill myself, but it was a good challenge.
And I was the opposite. I had so much great footage and Ksenia to work with. You know, and Ksenia, she's fantastic. I would go over to her apartment, her mom would film us, and we'd swap the whole back and forth. And she would give me little tips, and then I would just watch her body language. You know, show it kind of tucks up, just like me along the bar. It's kind of awkward to get my 6'2" range. It worked that well. Cheers to Ksenia.
Obviously you're sitting here in just day-to-day clothes, but your costuming in the show is so fantastic, and so I'm curious how comfortable you guys are in that, how much control you have over that, and how you like the costuming or don't like it, what you would change.
Well, I mean, the real costume designer of the show, the one who started is Ann Dixon. She had a great vision, you know. She would build a lot of things custom, but she was also very, you know, she would listen to us when we were talking about what we thought about our character. Like, when I needed something for a fight sequence, you know, she's got me something way too tight, she would really adapt it so that I could move. Or when we did the flashback scenes, you know, she was great. We built a whole look about where these guys had come from. And, you know, it was a sort of mixed genre thing. It wasn't really authentic old world. It was sort of like made up. But she had this great gift of bringing, you know, this sort of supernatural to historical pieces. Like all the rest of the Dyson wear, they're all custom made. That she designed them, and she has a great bunch of seamstresses that work together and build. And now our new Marie Landry. She's really taken it to another level. She's brought a little more elegance, a little more fashion into it, and I know that Zoe, for one, has appreciated that.
Yeah, you know, it's fun. I mean, Ann Dixon is there aren't enough words. She's such an extraordinary costume designer. and they're really lovely about, you know, taking our preferences into account. You know, there's no sort of militant, you must wear this. Everybody, if there's something that is not feeling right or it's not feeling the character, you're welcome to kind of bring it up. And they're really great about that. And then Noreen, because she's just a different human being, has